Denton, Texas, there's a bridge, and something far worse than a ghost waits there. They call it Goatman's Bridge, but no one knows who or what it really is. Every year people vanish there. Some say they hear laughter. Others say it's the sound of hooves. 3 friends, looking for a thrill, dared to walk across it one dark night. They laughed at the stories. The last thing they said before they disappeared: "We'll be fine. Ghosts don't exist." The next morning, all that was left was their camera, but the last footage was just whispers. Goatman's Bridge. They say the Goatman lives in the woods near Old Alton Bridge. They say he was once a man, then something worse. They say if you walk across the bridge at midnight, call his name and don't show respect, he remembers you. I didn't believe in stories like that, but stories. Don't care if you believe. In the summer of 2021, 4 of us crossed Goatman's Bridge. It was supposed to be a dare, a joke, one last wild night before we split off for college. Now there's only 3 of us left, and I haven't slept a single full night since. This is not just a ghost story. This is what happens when something ancient decides you've gone too far. There were 4 of us that night. Me, Eli, Brenna, and Marcus. Eli was the fearless one, always chasing stories, always pushing the line. He's the one who found the legend, printed out old articles, watched YouTube ghost hunts, the whole thing. He wanted to see it for himself. Brenna was his girlfriend. Smart, sarcastic, didn't scare easy, but hated the idea from the start. Marcus was quiet, kept to himself. He had a nervous energy, always glancing over his shoulder, like he expected something to come crawling out of the dark. And me, I was the one driving. I was the one who said yes when I should have said no. We left Denton just after 11 p.m. The road narrowed fast. No street lights, just endless trees and a single sign pointing toward Old Alton Bridge. As soon as we turned onto the gravel trail, the air changed. The temperature dropped, and the woods felt tight, like they were leaning in around us. Marcus mumbled something in the back seat. "This place feels wrong." He wasn't wrong. We parked at the edge of the trail and walked toward the bridge. It stood there like a mouth, rusted iron, old wood, and shadows that swallowed light. It was dead silent. No wind, no crickets, not even the sound of the creek underneath. Brenna grabbed Eli's arm. "I hate this," he laughed. "It's just a bridge." But even he didn't sound sure. We stepped onto the boards. They creaked under our weight, like something stirring below. I turned back to look at the car, but the trail behind us was already covered in fog. Thick, pale, too fast, like the bridge didn't want us going back. Halfway across, Eli stopped and turned toward the woods. "This is the spot," he said. "Where people say it happens." He pulled out a lighter, flicked it, and said it like a joke. "Goatman, I'm here. Come out, you ugly bastard." "Don't," Brenna hissed. "Seriously, don't say that." Eli just smiled. Then he said it again. "Goatman, show yourself." The lighter flickered, went out, and something cracked in the woods. Not a branch, a hoof, on wood. Then another, clack, clack, closer. We turned. There was nothing there, just trees. But I swear something was watching from between them. A shape too tall, too still. Marcus whispered, "We need to leave." And I agreed. We turned back, walking fast. No one ran, yet, but we were close. Then our flashlights began to flicker, one by one, like they were choking on the air. The smell hit next. Burnt hair, metal, something sour and rotting. And then, Marcus screamed. We spun around. He was gone. Not fallen, not hiding. Just gone. His flashlight lay on the ground, still on, spinning slowly, in a circle. Brenna screamed his name. Eli shouted into the trees. we heard back was a whisper, soft, carried on the fog. Eli. My blood turned to ice. The bridge wasn't haunted. It was alive, and it was chosen. Didn't think so, didn't breathe. We just ran. Brenna grabbed my hand and nearly yanked my arm out of its socket. Eli ran ahead, flashlight flickering like a dying heartbeat. But the bridge, it didn't end. It felt like it was stretching beneath us, every board creaking slower, louder, deeper. And behind us, we heard it. Clack, clack, thump, heavy, hooved, inhuman. It wasn't rushing. It was as follows. Stalking. Like it knew we couldn't get away. We made it off the bridge, but the woods on the other side weren't the same. It was darker, thicker, like the trees had moved in while we were on the bridge. The trail was gone. Even the sounds were wrong. No wind, no animals. Just the sound of Eli trying to call 911. No service, he hissed. Brenna sobbed. Where's Marcus? He was right behind me. I pulled her into me. I couldn't think straight, but I knew. We couldn't stand still. We keep walking, I said. There has to be a way out. So we moved, but it felt like the forest was moving with us. After maybe 20 minutes of stumbling through underbrush and fog, we found something. A clearing. At the center, a circle of stone, half buried in the dirt. It wasn't natural. It wasn't old. Fresh claw marks scratched around it. Symbols we didn't recognize. And in the center, something lay in the dirt. Marcus's backpack. It wasn't torn. It wasn't dirty. It looked placed carefully, like a gift. Eli stepped forward, picked it up, and said, He's alive. I wanted to believe him, but then I saw what was underneath. A footprint. Not a shoe. A hoof, breasted deep, still warm. We turned back. We didn't speak. The woods didn't want us here, and now it was showing us why. Every path we took looped back. The fog got thicker. The light from our flashlights barely reached more than 5 feet. Then we saw it. The bridge. In front of us again. Even though we'd walked straight into the woods. Even though we left it behind. Brenna whispered, That's not possible. I agreed. But we were there, facing the same rusted metal, the same creaking boards. And something was on the bridge this time. A shape. Not moving. Not human. Just waiting. Eli stepped forward. I think we have to go back. What are you talking about? I snapped. Marcus is still there, he said. It let us go, but not him. It's not done. I looked at Brenna. Her eyes were blank, like she wasn't even seeing what was in front of us anymore. Then, from the far side of the bridge, we heard Marcus screaming. Not a call for help. A raw, guttural scream of pain, followed by one single word twisting through the trees, like a knife. Run. We didn't. We couldn't. We stepped onto the bridge again. I didn't want to. Everything in my body told me no. But Marcus screamed. And the bridge. It was still waiting. Eli went first. Brenna stayed behind me, quiet now, shaking. Every board creaked louder than before, like it was warning us. The fog moved like smoke, coiling around our ankles, breathing. Halfway across, our flashlights died again. All 3. The darkness was different this time. It was alive. And then we heard it again. Clack, clack, clack. Right behind us. But when we turned, nothing. Just the bridge. We reached the center. That's where it all changed. The bridge groaned under us. The iron rails hissed like hot breath escaping. And then, the boards beneath our feet began to glow. Faint. Red. Like embers in ash. In front of us lay something new. Not Marcus. A small wooden box. Old. Burnt on the edges. Eli bent to open it. I grabbed his arm. Don't. But he shook me off. I have to. Inside was a single item. Marcus's phone. The screen was cracked. The camera is open. And what it had captured made me fall to my knees. There, in frozen blur, was a photo. Marcus's terrified face, mid-scream, illuminated by a red light. Behind him, something stood in the shadows. Tall, horned. Its face was wrong, bent like bone, mouth open in silence. 2 black eyes, deeper than night. It had one hand on Marcus's shoulder, and Marcus wasn't fighting. He was frozen, like something had taken over. Eli whispered, he's still alive. I couldn't answer, because in the photo, behind the creature, something else was visible. Us, standing on the bridge, which meant the photo was taken seconds ago. We ran, or tried to. The bridge fought back, every board twisted underfoot, groaning like it was coming apart. Brenna tripped. I pulled her up. We didn't speak. We couldn't, because every direction now looked the same. The bridge didn't lead back to land anymore. It led into more bridges, and more, a loop. No start, no end. Eli stopped. It's not going to let us leave. What are you talking about? I snapped. He looked pale, eyes wide. It wants something. And then he said it. One of us has to stay. I laughed, not because it was funny, because it was hopeless. No, no one's staying. We just keep moving. But Eli was already walking back toward the center. Don't, I shouted. He didn't turn. He just said, you saw the photo. It chose Marcus. Then me. I don't know why, but I feel it. This place isn't haunted. It's feeding. Brenna screamed, we're not leaving you. But he turned one last time and smiled. A broken smile. Tell my mom I wasn't afraid. Then he stepped into the fog, and the bridge stopped groaning. After Eli disappeared into the fog, the air shifted, the pressure lifted. The heat in the metal rails faded, and for the first time in hours, I could breathe. Brenna clung to me. She was shaking, her face wet with tears, but we both felt it. The bridge had stopped fighting. We turned, and suddenly, there was an end. The trail, the trees, the parked car, all right where they should have been. I don't remember walking. I just remember the sound. As we stepped off the last board, just before the gravel met our shoes, there was a whisper behind us. Thank you. We didn't turn around. We ran. The sun was rising by the time we reached town. We didn't speak. We didn't cry. We just sat in the parking lot of a gas station, silent, staring at the horizon like maybe the rest of the world had aged and we hadn't. We told the police what happened. They searched again. They brought drones, search dogs, and local volunteers. They found Marcus's backpack. They found nothing else. Eli and Marcus were both labeled missing persons. No foul play, no arrests, no evidence. The story was buried like all the others. Just another urban legend. Brenna moved to Oregon. She doesn't answer my calls. Sometimes I see her tagged in photos, smiling, holding coffee, standing by mountains. She looks fine, but I know she's not, because I'm not. I see things at night, hoof prints on my floor when I wake up, faint whispers when I drive alone, dreams of the bridge stretching forever, with Eli waiting at the center. I moved away from Texas, but the bridge, it never really let me go. I think it marks you. Once you cross it and it sees you, hears you, chooses you, you're never really free. You'll hear different versions of the Goatman story. Some say he's a demon. Some say he's a ghost. Oscar Washburn, a black goat farmer, murdered by racists and left to rot beneath the bridge. Others think it's something older, something that waits for people to stop believing, so it can feed in silence. But the truth is simple. The bridge is not haunted. I'm hungry. And every now and then, someone foolish enough, brave enough, or broken enough to cross it after midnight gives it exactly what it wants. A sacrifice, a soul, a story. Most people don't. Most people see the rusted bridge on a map and think, that would make a cool video. They go, they film. Some come back, some don't. But if you ever find yourself outside Denton, Texas, near Hickory Creek, and someone dares you to walk across Old Alton Bridge after midnight, just remember this. The bridge knows your name. And if it calls you, you better not answer. Because once you hear it, you're already his.